like I mentioned, the kind of information that we're getting nowadays and that we're engaging with is really not the kind that portrays itself as objective or even has the pretense of objectivity, but really it's a kind of information that prioritizes sensation or sensationalism over accuracy or truth. And so what happened during the Spanish American War is that all these different big time media outlets, well, they couldn't all afford to have their independent reporters from each outfit go down to the war front was taking place between the United States and Spain. And so what they did is they combined forces and they called this small cohort of combined reporters the Associated Press. It's also where we get a large part of the origin of objective journalism. And so at a lot of middle school and high school classrooms, you'll hear about stuff like yellow journalism, where journalism ceases to be objective, but really that's not a phenomenon of changing in the way that reporting was done. What you have developing in the journalistic world is this pretense of objectivity. A similar trend took place in the scientific world as well during the same time. Whenever you have a pretense of objectivity, saying we're only reporting the facts, what happens is you end up with a rigidity in your point of view, so that you end up saying, well, my point of view is the fact. So that was really actually ended up being kind of dangerous. Whenever you have the pretense of objectivity, and don't disclose that, hey, I have an interpretation or an attitude about the facts on the ground. Whenever you portray it as objectivity, sometimes the social prescriptions that arise from that can be quite dangerous and harmful to society. When the internet came along, yeah, the cost of getting the scoop, it dropped like an anchor. So for a short period of time, you had this kind of perfect equilibrium of information dissemination where you had a lot of established media voices in science and journalism, had a lot of these alternative media that were brought on by the advent of the internet and mass communications. Around the time that the COVID pandemic really started taking off, was we started having a lot of sophistication in internet algorithms, basically connecting users of the internet with information. And these algorithms, they're not focused on getting the truth, because a computer program can't distinguish truth from fiction, and it can't distinguish good from bad. It can only follow the programming that it's been received by its programmers. What also happens at the same time is that you have a lot of confusion about the COVID pandemic. We got a lot of rules and recommendations handed down to us, actions that are going to be invasive to your everyday life. Whenever they turn out to be only part of a story and not the whole story of what's going on, suddenly your trust in the conventional established information structures fall apart. The result is you have an information crisis on a mass scale. Again, we've gone from aristocracy to democracy to anarchy in the span of about 15 years. Is also an opportunity for us in the Cooperative Extension Service to kind of fill that informational gap with a focus on corroborating our message with the facts on the ground. Argumentation is really a key cornerstone of scientific inquiry, where we get a lot of our research-based information from. And our goal at K-State Extension is and ought to be biased towards helping our people.